Hello students and welcome to your English class. Well my dear students, in today's class I have two pictures to show you. Take a look at it. The first picture. What is this? This is a picture of a beetle. Where do you find this beetle? In your home? No. Where else do you find a beetle? You find it out in your garden or in your plots. Now take a look at the second picture. What is this? Yes, it's a goldfish. It's a pretty goldfish and it lives in water. Now where do you find it? Some of us do have it in our homes, in our aquariums. Now what is the connection or relationship between a beetle and a goldfish? Well, there is no relation or no connection between them. But today's poem will tell you a small incident about a goldfish and a beetle. So today let us study the poem God Save the Beetle by none other than Ruskin Bond, our own Ruskin Bond. Now small introduction to the poet. Ruskin Bond was born on 19th May 1934. He is an Indian author of British descent. What do you mean by British descent? That means his parents were Britishers or English. He lives in Mussoorie in India. Mussoorie is in Uttarakhand in northern India. He has written several books, poems, short stories, and his first story was The Room on the Roof. He had written this story when he was 17 years old, but he got it published much later, maybe at the age of 21. And I have selected another story of his, The Blue Umbrella. The Blue Umbrella was adopted by a Hindi filmmaker, and that film went on to bag the National Award for the Best Children's Film in 2005. He is also the recipient for Sahitya Academy Award, which is a literary award in India in 1992. Because of his immense contribution to children's literature, he has been recognized by the Government of India for the growth of children's literature, and the Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in this matter. And coincidentally, your English textbook, that is New Gems English Reader, has got a foreword written by Ruskin Bond. What is a foreword? A foreword means an introduction. So, Ruskin Bond has written an introduction to your textbook. You can go through the foreword that he has written about your English textbook and about all the lessons and poems that have been chosen for grade 5. Now, I want all of you to turn to page number 51 in your textbook. And let us read and study the poem God Save the Beetle by Ruskin Bond. The first stanza. Lord, please give some sense of direction to this beetle who keeps blundering through the open window and falling into the goldfish bowl. Twice I have kept him from drowning and returned him to the garden, but he keeps coming back, zooming and diving about the room until plop. Now the first line, Lord, please give some sense of direction to this beetle. Who is the poet referring to? Lord. Lord means God. What is he asking God? He's asking God for some help. And what is this help for? He's asking God to help a small beetle. Give the beetle some sense of direction. Here, some sense of direction means idea of where to go. Now, why is the poet asking God to help the beetle to know where he has to go? Look at the second line. Who keeps blundering through the open window. Here, blundering through Keeps blundering through means keeps entering by mistake. That is, the beetle keeps entering the room through the open window and he keeps making this mistake. And what does the beetle do after he enters the room? He goes and falls into the goldfish bowl. Now, what is the poet trying to do here? He is trying to help the beetle. And how many times has he helped the beetle? Twice I have kept him from drowning. He says he has helped him 2 times from drowning in the goldfish bowl. And where has he returned him? He has returned him to the garden, because that is the place where the beetle lives. The beetle lives on land, and where does the goldfish live? The goldfish lives in water. So, the beetle and the goldfish cannot meet. But here, the beetle has lost his way and keeps repeating his mistake of entering through the open window and falling into the goldfish bowl. How does he do it? Listen. Zooming and diving about the room until plop. Plop is the sound when it falls into the water. Take a look at this. See, this is the goldfish who is happily swimming in its bowl. And then what happens? See. Yes, the beetle comes and falls into the goldfish bowl and plop. That is the sound of water when the beetle falls into the goldfish bowl. Now let us read the second stanza and find out what the poet is going to do about the beetle. He is in the goldfish bowl again, swimming round and round and looking very tired. In 5 minutes' time, I must go to bed. And if you don't get this beetle to look after himself, who will? Besides, it makes the goldfish nervous. Now, what is the poet telling here in the first line? So, where is the beetle again? He's fallen again into the goldfish bowl, swimming round and looking very tired. Why is the beetle tired? That is because that is not the place where the beetle is supposed to be. The beetle flies in air. He cannot swim. So, when he has fallen into the water, he has to flap his wings and that makes him tired because he is not an aquatic insect. So, the poet knows that the beetle is tired of swimming. Third line. In 5 minutes' time, I must go to bed. What time of the day is it here? What time of the day is the poet referring to? It is night time. That is because the poet says, I have to go to bed. I have to retire for the day. So, what is he asking God in return? And if you don't get this beetle to look after himself, who will? He is asking God, if you are unable to look after this beetle and help the beetle, because I am not going to be here in this room in another 5 minutes, because I have to go to bed. And if this beetle comes back again, it is sure to get drowned in the goldfish bowl. Besides, it makes the goldfish nervous. What do you mean by nervous? Nervous means tense and worried. When are you tense and when are you worried? When are you tense or worried? You are worried or you are tense when the situation is not comfortable around you. So here, the goldfish isn't comfortable with this new companion or this foreign particle that has fallen into its bowl, because the beetle is not aquatic in nature. Therefore, the goldfish is feeling nervous for a particle or the new companion it has got inside its bowl. So, with this, we come to the end of today's poem. Now, we will continue with the exercises from your textbook. So please turn over to page number 52. A. Take the correct options. I want you to complete this exercise in your textbook itself. The first question. The beetle kept A. Bothering the poet. B. Buzzing around the goldfish bowl. C. Entering the open window. D. Looking for something to eat. Which is the most appropriate option for the question? The beetle kept. What is the answer going to be? Yes, the beetle kept entering the open window. It is option C. Now the second one. The poet was worried that the A. Goldfish would eat the beetle. B. Beetle would bite him. C. Beetle would drown in the goldfish bowl. D. Beetle would harm the goldfish. What is the right option? The poet was worried that the C. Your option is C. The beetle would drown in the goldfish bowl. Now the third question. What had the poet done twice for the beetle? A. Thrown it out of the window. B. Allowed it to swim in the bowl. C. Put it in the garden. D. Saved it from the goldfish. What is the right option? It is C. Put it in the garden. Fourth, the poet asked God to help the beetle because he A. didn't want to help the beetle himself. B. Wanted to go to bed. C. Was feeling nervous. D. Thought the beetle was clever. And the right option is B. Wanted to go to bed. The poet asked God to help the beetle because he wanted to go to bed. Now we'll continue with the exercises. B. Whom do the underlined words refer to? Right? You have three options. Poet, God or beetle. I want you to complete this exercise in your textbook. 1. Who keeps blundering through the open window? What is the right answer? In who refers to poet, God or beetle? It is beetle. Second, he keeps coming back. Who does he refer to here in this line? It is again the beetle. 3. In 5 minutes time I must go to bed. Who does I refer to? It refers to the poet. Fourth, if you don't get this beetle to look after himself, who does you refer to? It refers to God. Now, there is an assignment, home assignment for you. Write the following in your notebook. See, think and answer. What are the poet's feelings for the beetle? You have to complete this answer in your notebook. Question tags. A short question added at the end of what is being said to check if the listener agrees with it is called a question tag. When do we form a question tag? It is when we are speaking to somebody and we expect that person to pay attention to us. We form a question tag at the end of our sentence. Now, look at the examples. It is raining heavily, isn't it? When we speak to a person, reaffirm that the other person is listening carefully to us by using the question tag. It is raining heavily, isn't it? That is how we make use of a question tag to reaffirm that the listener is paying attention to what we speak. She won't break the rules, will she? They have left behind their belongings, haven't they? Now let us look at a few rules to be followed while framing a question tag. The question tag consists of the auxiliary used in the statement followed by the pronoun that stands for the subject. A positive sentence has a negative question tag and a negative sentence has a positive question tag. Let us look at the examples. They have lost their way. Now, this is a positive statement. So, you will have a negative question tag. They have lost their way, comma, haven't they? You end it with a question mark. She won't break the rules. She won't break the rules, comma, will she? You end it with a question mark. So, the second statement is negative. So, you will have a positive question tag. Some more rules. If there is no auxiliary verb in the statement, the verb do, does or did are used to form the question tag. Now let us look at a few examples. The floods destroyed all the crops. In this sentence, there is no auxiliary verb. I am sure you all are aware of the auxiliary verbs, that is the helping verbs is, are, have, has, did. How will you frame a question tag for such a sentence? The floods destroyed all the crops, comma, didn't it? Next, they play football every evening. They play football every evening, don't they? Positive statement, negative question tag. This flower blooms only once in 40 years. This flower blooms only once in 40 years, comma, doesn't it? So in all the three statements, we do not have auxiliary verbs and therefore we make use of do, does or did. The tense of the verb in the question tag is the same as the tense of the verb in the statement. For example, we had been to Jaipur last week, hadn't we? It was raining all through the night, wasn't it? Now let us complete the exercise in your textbook on page number 53. F. Add suitable question tags to these sentences. I want you to complete it in your textbook itself. You can add only the question tag since there is not sufficient place. Are you hungry? What is the answer? Aren't you? Second, the flowers are pretty, aren't they? It is cold today, isn't it? Fourth, the shops are not open, are they? Fifth, Mrs. Saha is not well, is she? Sixth, Abba never lies, does she? Now, this is another exercise on page number 53. G. Complete the table as shown. Now, look at this table. It consists of nouns as well as verbs. In the noun form, the first one, success. When the verb form of the word success is succeed. In the similar way, we will have to complete this table either with verb form or the noun form. Second, visitor. What is the verb form of visitor? It is visit. Third, breathe. What is the noun form of breathe? It is breath. Fourth, life. What is the verb form of life? It is live. Fifth, refusal. What is the verb form of refusal? It is refuse. Sixth, construct. What is the noun form of construct? It is construction. Seventh, comparison. What is the verb form of comparison? It is compare. Eighth, singer. What is the verb form of singer? It is sing. Now, This is an exercise from your grammar textbook, that is on page number 112. Complete the sentences using the correct question tags. I want you to complete this particular exercise in your grammar notebook. 1. I am not in your way. I want you to frame the question tag. The answer is, I am not in your way, comma, am I? You ended with a question mark. 2. The rain has stopped. The answer, the rain has stopped, hasn't it? 3. You will never give up. The answer is, you will never give up, will you? 4. Brandon won't come with us. The answer, Brandon won't come with us, will he? 5th. Sarah has never been on a plane. The answer is, Sarah has never been on a plane, has she? 6. Your cousin can't ride a bike. The answer, your cousin can't ride a bike. Can he or can she? You can use any one of the gender. 7. It is a fine school. It is a fine school, isn't it? 8. We won't go out for swimming. Answer, we won't go out for swimming, will we? 9. You know his phone number. The answer, you know his phone number, don't you? 10. These children are rather careless. The answer, these children are rather careless, aren't they? So with this, I come to the end of today's session. Thank you for watching, and I'll meet you in another video with another chapter. So till then, take care.